What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another SLA video. Guys, we got ourselves the top 3,000 completed. That's right, top 3,000 is done. So anyone who has done it in the last, I'd say, hour or so, you're probably not going to hit the top 3,000, but you will still be part of the top 6,000. Now, we've talked a little bit about this WOBL. The Yogamon WOBL has probably been one of the easiest ones out there. Now, that's not take away from anybody who can't complete it. This is obviously just being factual. From any WOBL we've done up to this point, Yogamon has probably hands down been the most simplistic and easiest requirements up to date. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is, number one, a lot more free-to-play players are able to finish this, a lot more dolphins are able to finish this, and heck, a lot of whales just finished it literally in minutes. So the top 1,000 has been completed within 4 hours. Now we are, what, less than 5 days away? Top 3,000. This is probably record timing, guys, in terms of any WOBL completions. Now we're just awaiting for the top 6,000. So what does this mean for the game? What does this mean for you? What does it mean for us as players? There's going to be a couple debuffs happening, a couple nerfs happening to our boy Yogamon, and that is going to be a big one. I also want to talk a little bit about Overdrive, which is the new SLA release that's happening in September. And I want to give my thoughts on this. So this is going to be two very important things. Now, before I go any further, guys, I want to remind everybody, Content Creator Program is still going on. We're almost there at the 9,000 mark, guys. Hit that support button. Get yourself some free codes. We got 4 free codes coming on the way. So make sure, guys, you definitely go support. And I'll be sending you guys some codes every single day as usual. If you're brand new, you'll get new codes. If you are an existing supporter, new codes are going to be on the way once they are released. All right, so make sure you go and do that. Now, let's talk a little bit about the actual WOBL. There's actually been a release for a note over here, and I'll show you guys what's exactly going on. Okay, so right here you guys can see it does say has reached 3,000. The Hunters Association will be distributing the promised rewards. So tomorrow morning you'll see that you'll get yourself these following rewards. Okay, specifically it's going to be the distribution of not these rewards, because we're waiting for the top 6,000 to do this, but all hunters will receive mark of time times 1, or sorry, times 30, mark of times 2 times 30, custom draw tickets times 20, gold 1 million, and mana imbued fabric times 1. So that's going to be released on Monday. You guys can see that, right? And then right over here, this is distribution schedule. It does say July 3rd. All right, so they're going to push it back quite a bit here. We're looking at, what is that? That's 2 weeks away? About a little over 2 weeks, 3 weeks away. Say 3 weeks away. We're 3 weeks away before we get any of our profile pics, our icons, our costumes, and our chromas. Okay, just so everyone is aware, that's what's going to happen here. Now, Workshop Brilliant Light Yogamon Hard will now have its powers adjusted to make it easier for everybody else to get it. So the two flames, which is 75k a pop, are now going to be reduced down to 1 flame for every single mode. So you guys can now get this done a little bit easier. So for those who are struggling, this is going to make your life a lot simpler, and this is going to be happening on Monday. So keep that in mind. When you see the flames go down, guys, that means you are going to have an easier time to break, to do DPS, everything else involved with completing this. Now, this has been, again, one of the easier ones. Is this going to set precedence? Honestly, with more things coming out to boost power, very hard mode for veterans is probably going to be fairly straightforward in terms of storyline. I think the next WOBL might also be simple. Now, remember, one thing I've been telling everybody, if you are a free-to-play player or a dolphin, you should be at the very least, guys, when you're going into your gates, refreshing it once or twice a day. Like, I do it twice a day. This is going to be my second one right here. You guys can see I go in there as a free-to-play player, and I always refresh for the reasons you guys see, and that is for the Shadow Army, right? Your Shadow Army building is going to be more important than anything else. Plus, not to mention, you're also getting yourself a lot more resources for your armory as well too, and gold and everything else that goes along with it. But at the end of the day, guys, Shadow Army is going to be what matters the most in terms of power, in regards to the second most important thing besides characters, of course, artifacts and all that other jazz, right? We're talking about miscellaneous things on the screen. Now, let's talk a little bit about Overdrive. If you've been living under a rock today and you missed this, you missed a pretty big thing. All right, so Overdrive over here was something that's pretty big. I'm going to show you guys the video real quick. Again, it's something that was shown on the Xbox show. Now, a lot of people have it confused. Okay, now I reacted to this earlier with not knowing what it was. Right, originally it was just another SLA Arise called Overdrive, and this was shown on the Xbox Game Show. You guys can see here, Sung Jin Woo here is the Shadow Monarch. Now this is actually going to be in line, because this is coming in September. This is going to be in line with the Architect story, where Sung Jin Woo actually learns about the whole Shadow Monarch, right, Ashborn, etc. And this is actually the perfect time for this release. So what a lot of us thought was an Xbox game is actually going to most likely be a patch that we're getting for ourselves. And I say most likely, it doesn't make any sense for them not to, right? Here's the reason why. First off, everything in this game is the same as Solo Leveling Arise. From graphics, weapons, everything, right? The only difference is there seems to be an overhaul with how Sung Jin Woo actually fights. And this is the reason why I think the roadmap didn't show anything for September, at least to this point right here, right? The co-op mode they've been promising us forever is right there. They've been telling us for a long time they're going to be giving this. Look, all the costumes are exactly the same as Solo Leveling Arise. Everything essentially is the exact same as Solo Leveling Arise. And I think what they're doing is they're essentially just overhauling the game a little bit to make it a little bit more fresh, right? And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, right? And so we want that. And you guys can see here, this looks like it might be Sung Jin Woo's next ultimate, right? Which is going to be his transformation. And we already have this in Thomas going Goliath, Mirai going into her Raven form, etc., right? So this is not an abnormal thing, guys. We're going to be seeing this probably come in the month of September for all platforms. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, this sucks. They're not showing PS5. Well, you have to remember, this is the Xbox show, guys. They're not going to promote PS5. They're not promoting PC. They're not I mean, they kind of promote PC because Xbox has an Xbox Pass on there. You can play your Xbox games on your PC. So that's being promoted right there, Xbox PC, right? But the one thing to remember is mobile is not going to be promoted here because they're trying to sell Xboxes, right? So this is going to be something we're most likely going to be getting. And I say most likely, I'm almost 100% positive, guys, as an update as well too from our end. Solo Leveling Arise is exactly what we play. The Overdrive, I think, is just literally overhauling the way the game works. And this is probably why we're getting such lackluster content lately, is they're putting all of their efforts into making this become a real thing. And again, I said this to people in my Discord, it doesn't make sense for them to make this Xbox exclusive or PS5 exclusive or any console exclusivity, including PC, because if they sell this as a $75 game, no offense, that's one multi. That's not even a multi. So as a gacha cow, like as a milk machine, like in terms of like milking money out of people, a gacha makes more money in a month than one console game will make in a whole year span. So it doesn't make sense for them to switch this all of a sudden to a console game, and I don't believe that to be happening. So, and if it was going to be another solo leveling game, they would not call it Solo Leveling Arise. It would be completely something else. So for those who are worried that this is going to be an Xbox exclusive, don't worry about it. We're going to get it on mobile. We're going to get it on PC. We're going to get it on exactly what we're playing, Steam, PS5, etc., right? This is not going to be a standalone game, essentially, is what I'm trying to say, right? So after reading a little bit of the notes about people and what they sent me, especially there were some folks that showed that I believe there's going to be hunters, going to be a new crafting system. They're doing a whole rehaul essentially of the game to try to make it more like fresh and up to date with everything that's currently being done on the market. There's a lot of games that have done rehauls. Epic 7 did a rehaul, right? I mean, that's one of the biggest examples that pretty much rehauled their entire game. Final Fantasy 14 as an MMO completely destroyed their world and restarted everything from scratch. So we're not saying that's what's going to happen here. We're probably going to keep all of our hunters, all of our weapons, etc. But going forward, there may be new things for Sung Jin Woo to do, such as the transformation to Ashborn or the Shadow Monarch, and other things as well too. So look forward to it, guys. Overdrive looks like it's going to be an absolute crazy time. I cannot wait. Solo leveling is looking bright again, and it makes me so happy as a content creator, as a player, as a community member. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.